All right. Dirty Sports episode 814 live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Los Angeles, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Good morning, Andy.
Morning, man.
How are you?
A little groggy.
A little groggy? Late start there? It's afternoon in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I know. It's just, man, like this whole hour thing, it just, it takes a couple of days.
That's true. It's only 12:15 there, really, for you.
I mean, seriously, though. They get you. And I'm a little like, it's really nice out today and I'm hunkered up in the basement. I kind of want to be outside, letting it rip a little exercise. You got to take it when it's nice here. You got to take advantage of it because you don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know. You never know. That wild Cincinnati weather.
I live on that weather app. Like you have to. You literally don't know.
But you got a treadmill in that basement. You can get your inside grind on.
It's not the same, man. And that thing is old as hell. And I think that treadmill, I think, is the incubator of the whole nut issue that I've had. Like I just don't trust it.
I listen. I'm not a runner. You know that about me. I've never been a runner. I actually despise treadmills. I feel unsafe when I run on a treadmill. Like I've also been thrown from a treadmill at like high speeds during childish activities as a kid. And but also I just I don't like running, let alone on a treadmill. But you're not supposed to put your nuts on them, Andy.
Good to know.
I mean, my limited experience on treadmills. If you think that it is related to your groinal issue, I just want you to know, on or off, your nuts are never supposed to be on the treadmill.
They should have a disclaimer.
They should.
How was I supposed to know? Felt kind of nice at the time. Little did I know it would create just chaos. The treadmill is nice to watch stuff, though. So if you want to bang out something on Netflix or a documentary, I'm into the Elizabeth Holmes thing now.
I haven't watched any of it.
It's fascinating, man.
I still haven't started the Kanye.
I'm 2 episodes in the Kanye. Do you know the Elizabeth Holmes story?
Yeah.
It's wild. Like and I'm just watching the Hulu Amanda Seyfried shit she plays.
Right.
And she does it well. And I guess HBO has a documentary as well. It just blows my mind how all this could happen. It's really, at times you got to wonder, is it really that easy to fool people?
For the sake of his blossoming career, I'm not going to dive in on talking about, my brother has fooled people for years.
No, I got you. I thought you were ready to go with it. I thought when I said that, I was like, oh, this is a perfect tee up for, it's easy to fool people. You act like you're retired and you come right out. I thought you were
listen,
Tom Brady.
Forget Tom Brady. How about, you think Elizabeth Holmes, how about the money that Kirk Cousins has stolen over the years? I mean, honestly, Kirk Cousins and his agent are like cartoon burglars. They're dressed in black and white, tiptoeing around. Pull up in a fake ambulance, leave with bags of money. I've never seen somebody steal from so many people.
So they gave him another year because technically it helps the.
Sure. I would argue, despite what your salary cap implications are, having Kirk Cousins as your quarterback for one more year does not help you.
Yeah, $35 million. It's a lot of money, man. He really has made a lot of money. It's crazy.
I believe he's made $240 million in his whole career.
Imagine the mega church he could build with that.
Imagine the mega church he's gonna build with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, here's the thing. If I had made $240 million being mediocre, I'd believe in God too. It's why I'm an atheist. I'm out here just being, I don't want to say elite, but let's say above mediocre at comedy. And I'm just in the gutter. This is why I'm an atheist. Kirk Cousins, meanwhile, is like the fucking, I don't know, the Dave Coulier of quarterbacks. He's just
Dave Coulier reference.
Just sleeping on a pile of money. I'd believe that there was a higher power responsible for all of it too.
Well, Dave Coulier got that full house money, man.
Yeah. Next year, if the Vikings actually want to win a playoff game, they should cut Kirk out.
Didn't he also host a knockoff of Funniest Home Videos for a while with another female? Remember that? Do you remember there was a second?
I don't remember that.
There's wild conspiracies about Bob Saget's death, right?
I know. I have heard that.
I watched some videos. It's kind of crazy. Goldberg sent them to me.
Yeah. Should we hit up Maddie Goldberg for the March Madness episode since Tug Coker has turned us down? Official co-host of the Dirty Sports Podcast when one of us can't be there or whenever we talk about golf or college basketball. Tug Coker has declined an offer to join the show this week. Should Maddie Goldberg? Now Maddie's gonna be like, what do you mean I'm the second option? What do you mean?
Yeah, I was like, you're really setting yourself up, man. On both Maddie and Tug. I wasn't gonna say anything about Tug's response, but you're just throwing him.
No, I mean, first of all, the guy's got 3 kids under like 5.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's. I'm not insinuating that he has declined it for any reason other than I'm sure he's hella busy.
Yeah. Well, we need all the help we can get with March Madness. We've been pretty vocal about that because we just don't follow it enough. All I know is Xavier isn't in the tournament again and they need to fire their coach. And I want them to hire Rick Pitino. Not going to happen.
Rick Pitino moving to Cincinnati. Unlikely. Sorry, buddy.
Xavier really created a mess for themselves. The head coach, his wife's family donated $25 million for a brand new state-of-the-art like fitness thing before they hired him. So now you're stuck with a guy who just donated. His wife's family donated $25 million. That's his wife, and he's the coach. And I think he's on the board too, some sort of board at Xavier. The wife's dad. Not a good situation.
No bueno. Rick Pitino. My prediction is if Rick Pitino ever takes another major head basketball coaching job, it is somewhere where his life, like he'll be the head coach at UNLV or like at Miami or something. Like he's only going to go someplace where he's like, is there a fucking horse track nearby? Is there a fucking place I can gamble? Is prostitution legal?
Sure.
His wife's like, can you stop banging prostitutes? He's like, no, I can't, but I can start banging them where it's legal. I'm the new head coach at the University of Nevada, Reno.
Yeah. Seriously. Well, March Madness, once again, I can't get enough of just the NFL just shitting on every other sport. That's what they do. They literally are like, oh, yeah. The brackets dropped today? Really? Everybody's been waiting for their March Madness brackets? Tom Brady's like, not so fast, and he just kicks down the door.
Yeah, as I said, the powers that be at college basketball must have felt totally deflated by the news.
Be here all week, folks. Try the chicken parm. It's really good. Has a comedy club ever served chicken parm? No way.
Probably some have.
Remember
when we did like that one Italian comedy club in Santa Barbara?
Oh yeah.
I bet you they serve fucking chicken parm.
So what was going on, Brady, man? I'm sure you saw the tweet. His retirement was 40 days. The baseball lockout was 99 days. So what was going on? Was he trying to see where all the other quarterbacks were going?
I have no idea. Honestly, it just seems so fucking stupid. Like Are there people out there? Listen, I know there's the Matty Goldbergs of the world, and I know that we have Brady stands everywhere, but like, explain to me who alive thinks this is like cool or chill or like amusing. This is like Brett Favre all over again. It's like, I'm retired. I'm not retired. It's like, bro, why didn't you just say nothing and just say, I don't have a decision and I'll make a decision before the league year starts? And the only answer I have for that, and I'd love to hear from anybody else, is you fucking love attention. You love attention.
I think
and
these guys,
you want the attention of the fucking retirement, and then you want the attention of the coming back.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. I think a lot of these guys, again, especially like a Brady, when you're at that level, you have a team behind you, right? So the team of public relations people and marketers and social media people, they come up with all these ideas and they work together as a team. And then they say, let's do this and let's do it. There's no way his opinion changed in 40 days. There's just no way.
Unless he was trying to, like, my only thing is he either loves the attention or, more likely, honestly, some sort of major business scam. I'm retired. Invest in my NFT company. I'm all in on NFTs. Tom Brady's NFT company raises $170 million in their Series A funding. Tom Brady returns to football. Tom Brady gets $500 million from Hulu for Man in the Arena, which will chronicle his last 4 seasons in the league. Blah, blah, blah. Just kidding. I'm back. Like, that's my only explanation. Whatever the explanation is, I can guarantee it falls under the headline of scumbag shit. Tom Brady, world-class fucking scumbag.
Well, it's crazy too, because he's already lost 2 of his offensive linemen, and they had a great O-line. So the one guy retired, and now the Bengals are signing, I believe, his guard, Alex Kappa. Yeah, to a deal. So, like, you're losing your protection, man, and like good protection.
I mean, another thing that we know about Tom Brady is part of this is definitely that he was going to be haunted by losing his final game. You know, it seems like he wants to go out. Tom Brady would be the ultimate guy to say, I want to go out on a Super Bowl. Well, my advice is you should have gone out after you left the Patriots, went to the Bucks, and immediately won a Super Bowl. That was your moment. I will predict this. Tom Brady will never play in another Super Bowl.
Well, I don't think that's, I don't think that's too, I personally, I don't think that's too wild of a prediction.
No, of course it's not too wild, but go get on the internet any second of the day. The Tom Brady slurpers out there who don't know that he's like retiring and unretiring to steal like NFT money for them or sell them fucking, healthy greens, water powder and TB12, B12 shots or whatever. Well, they're all, hey, the GOAT's coming back. Gonna win one at 44. Look at his last 9 seasons. Loses a playoff game, wins a Super Bowl. Loses a playoff game, wins a Super Bowl. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Obviously, he had a really good year last year statistically, but the NFC is weaker, obviously, than as well in the AFC. I'll play a call. We have a call. We have an analogy. CT has been firing up the hotline. I mean, just firing up. I mean, I'll finally play a call. This is his analogy.
New Denver Broncos fan, I can assume. CT.
No, he's not going to sell out his Seahawks. This is his analogy on Brady coming back out of retirement.
Gentlemen, CT, formerly from Seattle, lifelong Seattle Kraken fan. Tom Brady is back. And I kind of found the perfect analogy, I think. It's that scene from Rogue One, Star Wars, where Darth Vader comes in at the end and just starts chopping rebels down. And growing up, you're like, I don't like Tom Brady. I don't like Darth Vader. He's evil. He works, with the dark side of the Force. But then as you get older, you're like, fuck, Darth Vader's the best fucking Star Wars character. Star Wars wouldn't be it without Darth Vader. Darth Vader's the goddamn coolest dude. And then all of a sudden you're a fucking Tom Brady stan. I'm not saying I'm a stan, but happy that he's back. He probably also looked at the NFC. He's like, yeah, I'm still the best quarterback in there besides Rodgers, so I'll come back. But it's that scene in Rogue One for sure. I wish I was better at Photoshop and I could make that happen. But CT out, say Dirt.
Do you know that scene?
Yes.
It's a pretty badass scene.
Yeah. I like the analogy because I think Tom Brady's career ends with him laying on the field, his son running out there as he's injured, taking his helmet off and kissing his dying father in the middle of the field.
That's not going to happen.
He's like, I'm your father. And he's like, I know, I'm still going to kiss you. I'm still going to tongue kiss you. Just take my helmet off.
He's going back. They got a great offense. Obviously, the line, as we see, is kind of falling apart, and they're going to have to replace some guys. But weapon-wise, skill player-wise, he's still got Godwin and Mike Evans and
I think Godwin might be a free agent, but I'm not positive.
The funny part about that is Bruce Arians always wears that thing on his chest that makes him look like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
When he is on the sideline. Why is he dressed like a robot?
Also, this analogy keeps going because a young Tom Brady definitely murdered children and drinks their blood, and that's what keeps him young.
Yeah.
So,
a la Anakin.
Yeah. And abandon a pregnant wife. I mean, this is Tom Brady is Darth Vader. That's it.
This really does keep going.
Does keep going.
And you could argue he was supposed to be the chosen one for the Patriots, and he was, and then he left.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. I mean, I don't know if I would call Bruce Arians Emperor Palpatine. I was really laughing though. I mean,
was. Let's be honest. My favorite part of this though is Eli Manning, Luke Skywalker.
There you go.
That's the best part of this whole analogy. The real chosen one.
Hey man, you know me. I'm a Star Wars fan. We can take this all the way. I'll do these analogies all day.
And obviously, Belichick is Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah, for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah, and that's why he just every white wide receiver in the history of the Patriots is a stormtrooper. He's just like, give me a gang of white guys who can't hit anything. I'll turn him into a real fucking army.
Yeah, but he's back again. Does it on Selection Sunday, which was pretty funny to me.
Yeah,
but moves are happening in real time as we speak. Trubisky signing with the Steelers.
I like this move for the Steelers, honestly. I know I don't know what the finances of it are. And I said, I didn't hate the idea of him joining the Giants, depending on what the finances were. That was the rumors for the last couple of weeks now. But as somebody, I don't really, necessarily root for the Steelers. It'll be easier now to have some rooting interest in the Steelers that the guy, the multiple accused rapist is gone. But I actually kind of like this for Trubisky. I mean, they have won games the last few years with Roethlisberger out with guys who are just like not qualified to be in the NFL. And Trubisky, definitely wasn't great with the Bears, but there's not a lot of people who have been great with the Bears the last few years. And I think he's a competent, middle of the road, medium pizza starting quarterback in the NFL. And I think that is a nice fit for the Steelers. I actually kind of love it.
Well, he's certainly better than
Mason Rudolph.
Whack-a-mole Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
It's a 2-year deal. I'm not seeing financials right now. But I agree. I think, look, as they try to figure out what they're doing in the future, you got an offense. You got a defense. You got a running back. You got a few weapons.
And there was a lot of talk about Deshaun Watson going there. Obviously, because they don't mind a multi-accused rapist as quarterback. But honestly, I think Steelers fans are probably like, listen, we don't mind that he raped a bunch of people. But a black quarterback, I'm not sure we're in on that. Yin's got to be kidding me. We already tried this with Cordell Stewart. It didn't work. Like, okay.
A lot of people are going to go after him. So no criminal charges. Deshaun Watson will not be facing any criminal charges. So he's meeting this week. I know already he's going to meet with the Panthers and the Saints.
Now, how does that even work? Because he is a Houston Texan, right? Can he meet with them?
It's a good point. I mean, I saw a headline that he was meeting with them. You're right. He got paid last year.
Yeah.
He straight up got paid to sit on the bench.
I don't know the tampering rules or anything. I guess maybe you could give permission to meet.
Yeah, this is the headline. This is a headline from The Athletic. Texans Deshaun Watson expected to meet with Saints, Panthers, and other teams for trade talks. Source. He's going to meet in the next 48 hours.
Okay.
He still faces 22 active civil lawsuits of sexual assault and sexual misconduct. The same number of players on a football field. That's pretty impressive. Well, obviously, if he went to any of those teams, he's a huge upgrade. I mean, the Saints have a great defense. They're a QB away from Super Bowl contending.
What are you talking about? They had a Hall of Fame QB last year.
Is Jameis under contract?
I have no idea.
I think he might be a free agent as well.
I think he's a free agent. Yeah, because I think it was a 1-year deal. Remember, wasn't it like 1 year, $5 million or whatever?
Yeah. Which, you know what this is saying with Jameis and then Trubisky signing with the Steelers. Trubisky is still valued much higher than Jameis Winston, I'd argue.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, listen, I think that there is some I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but some delusions of grandeur in the Jameis Winston camp, that probably because, his agent or his uncle or his former GM are running a propaganda account on his behalf that pump him up and tell him he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. They're writing books about his Hall of Fame credentials,
which we discovered and blew up. If I might reiterate that.
Yeah. But I think that there's some delusions that he deserves some sort of franchise quarterback money, or will only play for a winner, or will only play for 10 million. And it's like, okay, whatever. Let's see if that happens.
You're right. It was a 1-year deal. So I'll be curious though where he goes, man. Like really curious.
Do you like Trubisky to the Steelers?
I do.
Do you like where would you like to see Watson go? The Saints or the
I want to
Panthers?
See him go somewhere where they can win. I mean, you could probably win in the Panthers too. I want to see somewhere where they can really be. If they go to the Saints, like I said, they're instantly competing for a Super Bowl, I'd argue, from that conference.
I like that. That'd be a fun one.
Yeah. Right.
I like the Saints. I'd like to. I mean, obviously, I'm not the world's biggest Sean Payton fan, and I'm definitely not a Jameis Winston fan. And I think that Taysom Hill is the Kirk Cousins of option H backs. I've never the Kirk Cousins and Taysom Hill are the pointing Spider-Man meme for people who have unreasonably stolen tens of millions of dollars from the league. But it's fun when New Orleans is good. The fan base down there is fun. The city's awesome. You kind of want them to be good. I wasn't the world's biggest Drew Brees fan either. So, like, yeah, send Deshaun Watson to the Saints. Let's go.
Yeah, things will get real interesting for Brady then if he's got Deshaun Watson. He has to play twice a year. And the Saints already own Brady since he joined the Bucs. Yeah, it'll be interesting. So Monday Night Football is officially going to be Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. ESPN just stealing the Fox crew.
It's kind of amazing. You wouldn't think that this would be that easy to do.
Well, they let him actually. Fox they didn't put up a fight, and they said he gave us this many years, or those guys gave us this many years. Like, we're not gonna,
and we appreciate it. And honestly, here's the thing about Monday Night Football. First of all, I will never watch them if the Manning brothers are farting on a snare drum. Like, I don't care what
the
Manning brothers are doing. If the Manning brothers are broadcasting, if they're like, Peyton can't be here this week, Eli's doing it with his son, I'm like, cool. Troy and Joe Buck are dead to me. But as far as the Manning cast aside, or on the weeks where the Manning cast does not occur, I like the Troy Buck combo.
Yeah, me too.
I am not a Joe Buck hater. I'm actually more of a Joe Buck hater in baseball than I am in football. I enjoy Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I know there's a lot of people out there who can't stand them. I've never really understood it, especially the pairing of the two of them. Buck and McCarver back in the day used to be like nails on a chalkboard, but Buck and Aikman, I think they do a fantastic job. I'm a fan.
Yeah, no, I am too. And look, it's definitely an upgrade for ESPN, but like you said, I agree. If the Manning brothers are on, I'm always going to watch them. I mean, it's not even close.
But here's the thing. I love the Mike Breen, Van Gundy, Mark Jackson trio in basketball. But if the Manning brothers are calling a basketball game, I'm watching that too. Like, I mean, it's just the Manning brothers. So we're talking about, it really has nothing to do with whoever else is broadcasting against them.
Yeah.
But we know there's old heads and people who just don't even know how to find ESPN2 and whatever that are just will always be, I need the game sound.
Sure.
So we know that the lead broadcast will always do better than the Manning cast.
Well, the Bengals just signed another offensive lineman. It's like they're saying, okay, Andy Ruther, you think we're gonna shit the bed next year? They're still one of Brady's Patriots guys,
and they're spending, Andy. The Ruther curse. I'm out because their owner won't spend. Look at him. He's going out there spending on offensive line. This is a second offensive line signing this morning. Who'd they go out and get now, Andy?
Alex Karras or Karras. I don't know how it's pronounced. 3 years, 18 million.
Wasn't that the first one you told me?
Ted Karras. Sorry. Alex Kappa was the other guy.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Not making the playoffs.
Whoa.
No, I'm just talking shit. They might.
Randy Ruther just set off fireworks in his driveway.
They might make.
Andy Ruther said they're not making the playoffs. We're going to the Super Bowl.
They might make the playoffs, but hey, Super Bowl hangover is real. I got a little swag after they lost that Super Bowl. I got a little swag back. Not gonna lie, I was absolutely crippled by that playoff run, and now I'm like, dude, you caught lightning in a bottle. But
now, hold on. Let me I just want to play devil's advocate for 1 second. And I'm not saying that the Super Bowl hangover is not real. And I'm not saying that they are going to make the playoffs. I'm not making any predictions right now. I'm going to see how the rest of free agency and the rest of, the offseason plays out before I go ahead and make any predictions. I mean, the AFC North is going to get wild. The Browns are releasing receivers and signing receivers for way more money. So, it could get crazy.
I don't understand that move, by the way.
No one understands that move, dude.
So
now there's like Baker Mayfield traded rumors, like the Browns. I mean, talk about a mismanaged Ohio-based football team. The Browns are lapping the Bengals when it comes to being a fucking punchline.
Well, I don't understand you're just swapping Amari Cooper for Jarvis Landry. I don't really get that.
Well, you're swapping Amari Cooper and $20 million for like, and the Cowboys, what are they doing? They're now getting rid of Cooper and then paying Gallup. Like, is Jerry Jones out of money because of all the lawsuits? Like, what's going on?
He's got a lot of kids to pay for.
Yeah.
A lot of illegitimate kids.
Yeah, it's wild. But I'll say this, as a Bengals hater, your big thing is Joe Burrow's legit. They have receivers. The defense is good. You still question the head coach who took him to the Super Bowl in year 3. But your big sticking point was Joe Burrow won't survive because they don't have an offensive line and they refuse to spend on it. It's like you're the GM of the team. They're like, okay, GM, we hear you. We're going to go do that.
Yeah, I should get if they win the Super Bowl, I should get proceeds.
Yeah,
I really should.
Joe Burrow was sacked 114 times in a season. Andy Ruther wants credit for being like, they need to improve their O-line.
No, I love Burrow. Look. No, I obviously, as long as they have Burrow, they're always gonna be able to compete. He's that good. But I just, again,
do you question the ability to sign the right offensive lineman when they have 3 scouts?
I just question
that they share with the Cincinnati Reds.
Don't even get me started on the Reds right now. Don't. The Reds are starting to enter the Andy Ruther Bengals history fandom. They really are. Look, these guys look good on paper.
Listen, if you abandon the Reds, which I feel like there's a small chance of that happening, even though you're a cursed individual, we welcome you. The water is warm because Steve Cohen keeps the hot tub heaters on all year round. Money be damned. The waters are warm in the league's leading payroll New York Mets hot tub bandwagon.
Look, I'll say this about the Reds.
Steve Cohen is the anti every Cincinnati owner ever. They're like, fuck you. We're going to tax you if you spend too much money. He's like, fuck you. Now I'm going to spend so much money that you have to come up with a new tax, you fucks.
When you deliberately are trying to become the next Pittsburgh Steelers and you trade guys like a solid, legit starter who's going to be reliable, like a Sonny Gray, you let Wade Miley go. My thing is this. You are turning away so many people. And again, the payroll. If you don't have the money, man, just sell the team.
I said this and I was quoted as saying it. Somebody put it on, tweeted at me, but this is I agree wholeheartedly at this point, especially now. I mean, we've been watching Winning Time and the whole like Jerry Buss buying in to a crippled league, and now look at him. Now he's his family is set up for life because he went in, he was responsible for partially turning around the league. Don't buy a sports team and cry poor. It's kind of pathetic. It's kind of like, bro, maybe you just never could have afforded a sports team in the first place. Like, is the bottom line. Don't get into the game. It's like, when you play in a poker game and they're like, it's a $100 minimum buy-in and $5,000 maximum. Don't sit down with $100. You're going to lose.
Yeah. Or if you're an owner and you bought a team in 2006, like this situation, and the team was valued at $270 million. Now they're valued at closer to $1.1 billion. Dude, you tripled your profits, more than that.
Yeah.
Cut and run. Like, you sell the team, sell it to Mark Cuban, sell it to somebody who who wants to spend a lot. And by the way, I'm not saying you got to spend, but at least be competitive. When you're not trying to be competitive.
Listen, there should be a salary cap and a salary floor in baseball guy for you can go back to me arguing in fucking middle school about there needing to be a salary cap in baseball. There needs to be financial restraints on these guys. But in the meantime, and this is the thing, this is the problem as a Mets fan with the Wilpons all these years, and now definitely not the problem with being a Mets fan, is if you are going to voluntarily buy your way into this league in this situation, then you better be prepared to spend, or else what are you really doing? You're just stealing hot dog money and parking money from your fans. You're going, we're not trying to win. I'm just trying to run a business that makes money. And that is pathetic. And that is why Steve Cohen is quickly climbing the ranks of my favorite people on earth, because he's a Mets fan with money. He's here to fucking win. And he's like, cool. Name a fucking tax after me. I don't give a shit.
Well, obviously this is such a baseball problem. I mean, even in football with the salary cap and even with tight owners, teams can compete, just the nature of how it's set up. That's just been the number one problem in baseball. And you see these rebuilds, these rebuilds are brutal. If you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, if you were a Reds fan, Pirate. I mean, these rebuilds are brutal. You want to.
Well, part of I think the most horrible part about quote unquote rebuild is they don't ever seem to be rebuilding.
Yeah.
It's kind of lying to your fans, even when you call these rebuilds. How long have the Pirates been rebuilding? What are they rebuilding for? When's the year that they take all the draft picks and prospects they get for trading their best players away and come out for an offseason and spend and then go, we finally have it. We finally have the right mix of young guys. Now let's add some veterans and win a World Series. When does that happen? Because it hasn't happened in Pittsburgh since when?
That's what I'm saying. So they made the playoff. Well, I mean, it's wild. So they
were playing disco at fucking home games the last time they were in a World Series.
So the Pirates had a losing record. This is pretty wild. From 1993 until through 2012. And then they had a 3-year run where they were good, man. 2013 through 2015, they made the playoffs 3 years in a row.
Yay.
And since then they've been pretty trash.
Yeah.
So I agree, man. And that's kind of how the Reds have been too. And it's like, dude, you're just going to shed payroll and keep doing this. Why own the team? Because fans,
because they make money,
but fans don't, you just turn people away.
Yeah. But not enough of them. They make money. It's still a business.
Well, they make money because of the TV deals.
Yeah.
Those are multi-billion-dollar contracts. I just, and again, this is an overall baseball problem. It just is. And it seems like that's not getting really figured out ever on their end.
Yeah. I mean, we just had a strike, which ended, by the way, 3 minutes after our last episode ended. So if you want to know what the next big sports story is, you guys should subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And set the alerts and watch all our episodes live, and then immediately go on ESPN the second our episodes end. So then you could be the first person to know every big sports story. I mean, we are on a hot streak of 6 or 7 straight episodes where breaking news happens the second we hit end on this podcast.
Calvin Ridley.
Yeah. Baseball strike. I mean, it's glorious that baseball is back. And, I will take the credit that I was given. I even announced on last episode that I kind of despite what all the headlines were telling me. I invested in baseball tickets last week, like literally the day before the strike ended. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Whatever. They'll give me my refund or whatever. If I don't, I'm buying baseball tickets. And I did. And did I personally end the lockout? Maybe, you know?
Yeah, it was all you, right?
Yeah. Pray Nostradamus strikes again, as one dirtball said.
Well, it is coming back. And, I'm going to go to some games. I'm not saying I'm not going to go to some games, but I'm also going to still check out some minor league games because it's cheaper and I think it's a better experience. But I still will be the cheap guy who brings in his own water and does the $25 all you can eat with friends. It's like,
I'll still be the guy with the fake sunscreen bottle with a wide mouth that I can pour rum into my Coke with. I'll still be the guy that wears pants lined with Miller Lights.
Yeah, you got it all.
Yeah. The hardest part about going to baseball games for me is some stadiums are non-Miller Lite stadiums. Dodger Stadium, you can't get a Miller Lite. So when I'm suddenly drinking Miller Lights, it tends to raise some suspicions.
Yeah.
They're like, why does this dude have tall boys of Miller Lite? And yet the only beers this place seems to sell is Montejo. And it's like, well, listen, did I smuggle them in? You can't prove I did.
So don't go with me because God knows when I go and I'm under the influence, I attract security.
Well, that's because you would walk in and you'd be like, am I not allowed to bring this 12-pack of Miller Lite in? Is that not okay? I'm super high. I'm sorry. I'm super high because I have a vape in my pocket and a bunch of edibles. Holy shit. What do you mean? I can't bring those in either?
Never forget. 4/20/2018. That was probably one of the highest days I've ever been. That was downright embarrassing. Absolutely pathetic. I was so high that night I thought a shark was going to attack me while I was lying in bed. That's how stoned I was, man. Twerks Twerks. This is before Twerks.
It's Trevor.
No, Trevor drove us, but you know who else was with us was EJ.
EJ. Oh, that's when we had two incompetent interns simultaneously.
You told EJ had to walk me home from your apartment. Like, you gotta walk Ruther home. He's not gonna make it home. I know it's like 2 blocks away. You gotta walk Ruther home. I was so stoned. We got in my apartment and I just stared. I sat on the couch. I was just like, oh man.
EJ's like, there's somebody at your door. And the person at your door is like, Candygram. I got a pizza delivery.
Twerks texted me the other day.
Twerks?
Yeah.
Did he want your address?
He did.
Yeah.
I think I know where that means.
I think we're getting
we're getting a wedding invite.
I think we're getting wedding invites to
Disneyland.
Yeah, exactly. we're at least getting invites to the rehearsal dinner with the Disney characters.
Oh my God. Do you think Twerks will care if I dressed up as Pluto for his wedding?
I think he'd be stoked.
I really want him to do a Disney themed wedding.
I think he is going to do one. I think everybody's going to get a pair of ears.
Oh my God. Good for Twerks. And I'm awful. I got, if you're still listening to this, Aaron, I got to catch up with you. I just gave you my address. I didn't even be like, hey, how's it going? Like I don't know what I was doing that day.
I just gave him my address too. He didn't say, how are you? He just said, can I get your address? I was like, sure. Here you go.
I think he should have to invite all the old interns.
Do you, Twerks, take Mrs. Wolves? Twerks with Wolves is one of my all-time best nicknames.
Oh, that's a good one. Why did we call him that? Because he's got a lot of Native American in him?
Yeah, and I was going to call him Dances with Wolves, but I said he's a millennial, so he doesn't dance, he twerks. He's Twerks with Wolves.
Do you remember how bombed Twerks and future Mrs. Twerks got at my apartment?
At your apartment. I left early that day. I left early that day.
Oh my God.
You said they left like 6 hours later, and he was already bombed when I left.
Dude.
He was slamming like Trulies.
Slamming them. And you remember Twerks, of all people, absolutely blacked out Twerks was the mediator for the blacked out guy in my apartment who wanted to fight everybody.
I was gone.
You were gone?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was a bad situation. This guy, and he's a big dude, drunk, belligerent Boston guy, just wanting to fight everybody. I think he was Boston. And we were in the hot tub, and somebody said to me, Ruth,
somebody said Tom Brady is not the greatest living athlete. He was like, I'll fuck up everybody in this fucking apartment.
Somebody said
there's two things I fucking know in life. Tom Brady is the single greatest athlete to ever walk fucking planet Earth. And 2, Dunkin' Donuts coffee is the fucking GOAT. And anybody who wants any fucking problem with that, I'm putting this whole fucking apartment building in my rear view.
The best part was we were all sitting in the hot tub, and somebody was like, "Hey, Ruther, you're the only sober one here, man. Can you try to defuse this guy?" And he was I go, "I'm not going near that guy. That guy's gonna take a swing at me, and I'm not taking a punch from some drunk." Even though I felt like he was so drunk, he was one of those where he'd swing and you could like avoid the punch.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm not messing with that guy. Twerks goes, I got it. And he gets right out of the hot tub and he walks over. And I'll be honest, I was scared. I was like, oh man, I do not want this guy throwing a punch at Twerks. And Twerks walked over there. And I don't know, he handled the situation. And
Twerks is a lawyer. He's a mediator.
Yeah. I was worried the guy might, start yelling some racial slurs at Twerks. You never know. But yeah, Mrs. Twerks was there, and here they are now.
Here they are, locking it up.
About to get married. Good for him. So baseball is back, as we're talking about. Tatis will be out, though. This is a pretty shitty story for the Padres fans. I guess he hurt his wrist in December in a motorcycle accident, which he didn't realize was so bad. And now he might miss 3 months, even though baseball has been out for the last God knows how many months.
I get the idea behind, I know a lot of these guys. I don't know if the Padres have a rule with him, but I know a lot of teams either have written rules or like understood rules. No motorcycles, no pickup basketball, no fucking, carrying your wife on your shoulders, a la fucking Madison Bumgarner. Like we just be safe. So I understand the idea that he probably thought it was something that maybe he shouldn't tell the team about, just hope it heals on its own, whatever. But like, this is again, call 1-800-FIX-YOUR-LIFE. I'd have been like, listen, I understand you don't want to tell the team, but you're also 100 millionaire. How about just call the San Diego's finest wrist specialist and just go see him? We can keep it off the record. Just go in as Fernando Smith.
Tatis.
Yeah. Go in as Fernando Smith and go get your wrist looked at.
Yeah. HIPAA, man. They can't talk about it.
Yeah. Instead, he's like, don't say anything. And then suddenly, oh, my wrist actually really fucking hurts. Now he needs surgery. Now he's going to miss 3 months of the season. Dude, there was a baseball strike. That would have been a good time to get your shit looked at. You weren't even technically a Padre in those moments.
It's amazing that there's no one in these people's lives. Like if he's saying his wrist hurts to a girl, to a buddy, to a family member, there's no one who's like, hey, man, you should probably get that checked out. Right. Like, luckily, in the last month, during my debacle, I had a girl being like, you should probably get that checked out. Right. Like you need somebody to be in your ear. Where are these people for athletes? I feel like every athlete does not have a good person to just say, hey, man, you should probably see a doctor.
And also, like, I know, there's all kinds of wild contract stipulations where he could end up owing money, blah, blah. You're not fucking, you're Fernando Tatis Jr. You're, arguably the future of the Padres. They want you to be healthy. Just go get your shit taken care of, dude.
Yeah. Because now suddenly you're just, you're just ruining Like you're ruining the season. 3 months, man. You're gonna be out 75 games.
I mean, he might be back earlier than that, but still, like the Dodgers, I think, are still like World Series favorites. I mean, you're in a pretty tough situation. You need to be healthy, and you had a potential lockout to deal with it. I immediately would have gotten it done. At the very least, I would have at the very least, the second the lockout started, I would have figured out. Like if he heard it before the lockout, he's like, hey, let's just go to spring training and see what happens. I'm like, it's still stupid. But the second the lockout happened, I'd be like, they can't even call me.
The lockout was 99 days, man.
Yeah.
There's your 3 months right there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What if we set up a second hotline for athletes to call?
1-800-FIX-YOUR-LIFE.
What would you charge?
I think it should be some sort of percentage of like the money saved. You know what I mean?
Or would it be depending on the situation? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Oh, you mean bury a dead body? Okay, it's gonna be a little higher priced.
Yeah. But then I would take it. I'd be like, okay, so if they found out that you murdered somebody, you lose your entire contract. The rest of your contract is $80 million. I'm going to take $4 million for that. I take 5% of the rest of your contract.
Okay. So what if I call and I'm like, hey man, I need relationship advice.
What kind of relationship advice do you need?
Well, I've been fighting a lot with my girlfriend and I don't know. She's like really wants to get married. And I'm like, I don't know. And, I just signed a big contract and, the minute I get married and I probably would have to get a prenup and there's kids and there's possible child support. I don't know if I'm ready.
So now we're not going to talk as much about your future, the rest of your contract, although we will factor that in. But right now your current net worth is what? That number. Okay. She's going to get half of that. So now I'm going to take 5% of half of that she would have taken. Then I'm going to save you.
Okay. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. It's all about the money I'm going to save you.
You need billboards.
Yeah.
Like billboards
and commercials. And commercials,
Yeah.
Are you a football player who just signed a contract worth over $200 million? Do you own a Ferrari? Are you wasted? Were you thinking about driving that Ferrari wasted? Don't. Call 1-800-FIX-YOUR-LIFE and let me fix your life. I'll have somebody drive that Ferrari home for you. I'll have a minor league race car driver drive you home in that car faster than you could ever drive it and safely. Don't end up like Henry Ruggs. Don't end up like Paul Walker. End up rich like you already are.
You could have affiliates.
Yeah.
In every city, like working for you.
Absolutely. I'll have trainees.
Yeah.
They have fake stick-on mustaches.
That'd be a good job for young kids. Hey, man, you want to pick up a drunk athlete? Cool. Just be sober.
And just come in like Harvey Keitel. I'm sorry if you feel like I was not polite in asking for your Ferrari keys. Pretty please, with a fucking cherry on top. Give me your fucking car keys.
So your boy LeBron just crossed the threshold that nobody's crossed. Did you see that?
Alert. Trigger alert for all you butthurt fucking Michael Jordan stands. Trigger alert for all you NBA hating MAGA listeners. We're going to talk about LeBron James. Trigger alert. Okay, now we can do it.
So he became the first player to have 10,000 points, 10,000 assists, and 10,000 rebounds.
The first player in how long?
Ever.
The first player ever. How's that possible? Seems like to me, points, assists, and rebounds are the big three statistics. Seems like if you have the most of those, all three of all time, what's the argument against you at this point?
So he's currently third all time in points, 7th in assists, 39th in rebounds, and then he might even pass Karl Malone for second in points in the
This
next
season.
week.
Yeah.
Like in the next week. It's pretty crazy. And then he just had another
250 points games. Yeah.
250-point games.
We are not in the Derek Jeter portion of our career where we are some helpless, non-productive player that's just stockpiling career stats. The dude, not that the Lakers are playing well or being carried anywhere, but the dude is the only person right now on the current Lakers team that is productive on a night-to-night basis. And it's hard to score 50 points in the NBA. He's done it twice in a matter of weeks. He is in the twilight of his career, but he's still very much one of the best players in the NBA. And he's just shattering all-time records. He's the first man on Mars at this point. Multiple people have stepped on the moon. LeBron James is the only NBA player to ever be on fucking Mars. The dude is the only dude to do things. He's the only dude to do a lot of things.
So let's go back to earlier in the show. And I talked about Brady. I wonder if what LeBron's doing this year had any effect on Tom Brady. Because obviously Brady, like I said, had a great statistical year. And he comes back and I'm sure those two are cool. And I know they'll like tweet and stuff about when one accomplishes one thing or not. My point is, I wonder if he sees that as like, dude, I can do another year.
I mean, Brady's 6 years older than LeBron, right?
Yeah.
But obviously,
different sport.
The league protects his every step.
I don't know, but like the 10,000 points, rebounds, and assists, like to me,
he's over 30, 10, and 10.
Yeah. That's the big one for me because it's across the board statistically. The argument of who's the greatest of all time and all that is obviously the thing that like triggers so many NBA fans when you talk about it. And you can be the guy out there who I still think is incorrect, who's like, win one game, I'll take Michael Jordan, or for one, blah, blah, blah. But there is, honestly, in my opinion, not only no argument, but I feel like even throwing another name into the mix of who is the greatest all-around basketball player to ever play the game, it's LeBron James. And honestly, I'm just like super embarrassed for you if you argue anybody else. I'm super embarrassed for you. Like, that's not even that's not even me arguing with you. Like, the question of whose legacy is the best, who would you want in one game, who would you want in one series, who would you want to take the last shot? Okay, you guys can create your own narratives to argue against why LeBron is the GOAT. But the greatest all-around basketball player to ever play is LeBron James. And if you argue otherwise, you're just embarrassing yourself. He's going to finish top 5 in assists, most likely.
Which is insane, since I think he's the only one that's not a point guard, a true point guard in the top 15.
Yeah, it goes Stockton, Kidd, Chris Paul, Steve Nash, Mark Jackson, Magic, LeBron, Oscar, Isaiah Thomas, Gary Payton, Russell Westbrook, Andre Miller.
Now, let's do this again. Do the guys, every single guy ahead of LeBron James in the assists category are arguments for the best point guards of all time. For you to be ahead of LeBron James in assists, you are one of the single greatest point guards to ever play the game. Ever. Who are the guys ahead of him? Stockton.
Jason Kidd.
Steve Nash.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul, Magic Johnson. That's the list ahead of LeBron James.
And Mark Jackson.
And Mark Jackson. Okay. Mark Jackson, not one of the greatest point guards of all time.
Hands down, man down.
Yeah. Mama, I'm about to get passed by that man. Soon, Mama, there will be only top point guards of all time ahead of him because, Mama, there goes LeBron.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah. And the truth is, so he's about 300 away from Nash, who's fourth. 300 assists. So then he would move into top 4.
So then he'd pass Jackson and Johnson.
Correct. And also Nash has one more assist than Mark Jackson. And then after there, it gets like Stockton and Kidd just have so many damn assists.
Yeah.
Like nobody's catching Stockton anytime soon. I mean, he's almost at 16,000.
Stockton and then Kidd is 2.
Yeah.
And who's 3?
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. And so he's still going.
And
So
Cliff
Cliff Paul.
Cliff Paul's not in the top 10. Fucking Cliff. They don't do those commercials anymore.
No, they went all in on Jake from State Farm.
Can you imagine you know?
I want a 30 for 30 on the original white Jake from State Farm, by the way.
I don't even remember the white Jake from State Farm.
They just decided Jake from State Farm was going to be Drake from State Farm one day and then fucking never looked back.
That's a gig you want, man.
Yeah.
That's like a 7-figure gig. Jake from State Farm.
So LeBron likely will be, with Chris Paul not going anywhere anytime soon, it's like you're going to, like the all-time assist leaders at some point will be Stockton, Kidd, Paul, James.
Yeah. Well, if you do a stat argument, you can't really debate it as far as like you're saying.
I'd argue that fact alone. I'd argue that, like, I would argue LeBron James being the all-time career leading scorer, which I think, barring some sort of disaster will happen, and top 4 in assists behind 3 of the greatest full-on pure non-scoring-ish point guards of all time. That alone makes him my greatest basketball player to ever live. How can you be a top 4 facilitator in the history of basketball while also being the guy who got the most buckets? That to me alone is everything. That's everything you want in a basketball player. If the guy doesn't play a stitch of defense, which he did, and didn't rebound, which he'll finish in the top 35 of, or the top 30 of. Dude, if Chris Paul finished with the most points ever, people will be like, I don't care that he has no championships. He's the greatest player of all time. Like,
what about Cliff?
Yeah. They already have Cliff Paul as the GOAT State Farm guy. He's like, Jake will never pass me. Jake had to turn black just to even be in the same conversation as me.
So somebody in one of these companies was like, hey, I got an idea. I went to college for this. I got a marketing idea. What if we put a mustache on Chris Paul and we call him Cliff Paul?
Yeah.
And we just run a bunch of commercials with it. And somebody's like, you make $200,000 a year. That's totally worth it.
Yeah.
It all goes back to championships. That's the counter. That's what everyone's going to counter.
Cool. That's fine. So if your counter is championships, Bill Russell is your all-time GOAT, or get the fuck out of my face. The end. Goodbye. Also, Jim Lusticuff is 4th on your all-time GOAT list.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
If championships is it, I mean, the finals MVP is named after Bill Russell. He had 11 and 13 years. If championships is your defining thing, then Bill Russell's your GOAT, or get the fuck out of my face. Because the anti-argument to that is, well, that was 30 years before the NBA was like the distance between Bill Russell's last championship and Michael Jordan's last championship is going to be the difference between Michael Jordan's last championship and LeBron James' last championship. The era gaps are the fucking same. Let's not pretend Bill Russell was playing in the prehistoric age and Michael Jordan and LeBron James are modern basketball players. There have been multiple eras of basketball, and LeBron is removed from Michael by as many eras as Michael is removed from Bill Russell.
For sure. So you watch.
So if having half as many championships, if having 6 to Russell's 11 is acceptable, then why wouldn't having 4 to Michael's 6 be also acceptable? That's actually 2/3 as many championships.
People, I mean, they're just not gonna.
But those people are stupid.
Yeah,
you're a stupid person. Welcome to finding out you're stupid.
Yeah, I mean, they're just not gonna change, and people are open about it. A lot of those idiot talking heads on some of those main networks, they just say, he can't do anything to change my mind. So,
right. All right. Is that it? Are we done?
Yeah. I wanted to ask you.
Trigger alert. Trigger warning has ended. We now return to non-triggering conversations. You can rejoin us where we will talk about only things white people like again and things that are not being compared to the 90s.
Let's talk a little 70s. Let's talk winning time.
Yeah.
You liked episode 2.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
I think he's trying too much. I just think all the cutaways, the random things, the showing the different, when they show, this is how the camera would look in 1979. I don't know. I feel like there's too much going on. It's breaking the fourth wall too much. I just feel
they dialed back the breaking the fourth wall a little bit, which was nice. And I thought that they might. I thought all these tricks and stuff would, whatever. The camera thing is still annoying because it just doesn't make sense when they do it. There's just no rhyme or reason to it, which is kind of annoying. I like that they dug a little bit deeper into, obviously Jerry West has, they don't come out and say it, but he's, he's like has depression his whole life. He's laying on the floor in the dark. They're exploring that a little more. They made him a little less volatile, which I know was the big criticism and which was the shock for us in the first episode. So, I mean, we got a Jerry West sex scene.
Yeah.
That was not on my winning time bingo.
The opening of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that either.
But we got a little angry West Virginia dad. We got a little background on the Jerry West psychosis. We got Jerry West at the end of the episode, spoiler alert, resigning as the head coach. We got, I mean, honestly, my favorite part about it was the bus Auerbach, feud, which if you're an NBA fan, you know how that turns out and you kind of love it. You kind of love to see it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then you see, Magic's trying to just always have sex.
Yeah. Which we also, spoiler alert, we know how that turns out.
Yeah. I think I'm positive how that turns out.
Too soon? Actually, I'm going to say too late because I don't even think he tests positive anymore. Too late. Too late on that joke.
He doesn't. He doesn't test positive.
I'm inconclusive on how that turns out.
I'm HIV neutral on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to keep watching. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I'm excited at
I love John C. Reilly.
He's so good. He
He's
really
so good.
is. I don't know how to feel about Adrian Brody as Pat Riley, but I am excited for the entrance of Pat Riley. And I like Adrian Brody as a actor, but doesn't seem to be a super great fit. Jerry Buss. I mean, John C. Reilly looks like Jerry Buss.
Dude, he's crushing it.
Now they just have me coming in to play Pat Riley. Like, what? But I'm here for it. I'm a Pat Riley stan. Anybody who knows anything about me knows I'm a Pat Riley stan.
But he wasn't the head coach in that first title.
No. But he's in the mix. He's going to appear soon.
Okay. Yeah, because he was an assistant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good how it plays out. Would love to talk about it with Tug, but Tug says, no, not so fast, my friend. I got kids to take care of.
Tug's watching, the Monday rollover of the Players' Championship. He's busy.
Yeah. So we got some calls. 310-359-8365.
I feel like that was the most wild run through our rundown that we've ever had. We were just like bouncing from topic to topic. I liked it. I liked the free flowing Monday. It was almost like a Showtime Lakers run through our rundown.
It was.
Well, we went around the back to the Kirk Cousins story, and just a behind the head dish of Tom Brady as Darth Vader.
I like it. CT set that up.
Yeah, that's nice. CT can now came up with he wrote a Dirty Sports title on his Hall of Fame resume.
Yeah. Add that to your LinkedIn, CT. Okay. We got some calls.
We got some calls.
Oh, this one's for you. This was about
okay, here we go.
This is thanking you.
Oh, okay, great.
So calm down.
Usually it's just for you. It starts out with this piece of shit.
What's up, guys? KC, DirtBall, Josh. I love hearing Andy be kind of off the Chiefs. Makes me feel pretty good about next season. But most of the reason I'm calling is, Joe, I want to say thank you for giving me the best comeback. I was at a basketball game this week, and a guy was trying to argue with me about basketball, being a real cheddar dick. And I just straight up told him that I take shits that know more about basketball than he does. And he had absolutely nothing to say back to that. So just want to say thanks for that. And, condoms are for Iowa State fans.
Sounds like it was Iowa State, whoever they played, Kansas or somebody.
Love it.
Big 12. So that's your line?
I mean, I've said on this, I said on our podcast through the years, a number of things, about somebody takes a shit and it's better than, I don't know. I'm sure there was I believe the most recent version of it was A-Rod takes shits that are better at shortstop than Derek Jeter. But that's a standard go-to. Somebody of greatness shitting a still greater something than somebody else. I've used that one a couple dozen times through the years. But I believe that was the most recent one when we were arguing about Derek Jeter's defensive ability. A-Rod takes shits that are better defensive shortstops than Derek Jeter, which hard to prove false, honestly. A shit will just sit there and not move. And I am assuming A-Rod, being the gigantic person that he is, filled with HGH and probably, multiple supplements, creatine, whatever, he probably takes giant shits. I bet you if you hit a baseball into an A-Rod sized pile of shit, he would also field it cleanly and also has no range. Essentially, Derek Jeter.
Yeah. No, I'm working on something myself. I'm working on a little something for my brother's friend. He's a Russell Wilson hater, and I just don't think he understands. I'm working on a little package to present to him. I don't even know the guy.
Why is he a Russell Wilson hater? See, that's the thing about me. A lot of people have accused me of being a Russell Wilson hater. I'm not a Russell Wilson hater. I'm a Russell Wilson truther.
He just thinks he's been overrated his whole career. And I'm like, dude.
Well, that guy is welcome in the Russell Wilson truther
No, but there was no
Wow.
response when I was texting my brother. I go, he could not play another down again, and he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. And I said, text him that. Text him. I go, we're not debate. I go, you can debate all you want as far as if he's ever been a top 3, top 5. I go, I'm not here to debate that. I'm just here to present stats and say he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying this is what's going to happen. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame based on his numbers and based on the fact that he won a Super Bowl. I go that whether you can debate if that's fair or not. I'm not trying to debate that. I'm just saying he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. And of course,
that is true. And I think he'll deservingly be in the Hall of Fame. And also at the same time, that could be evident in an argument of Russell Wilson's overratedness. But like it's really neither here nor there, because like there's a lot of people who are overrated and underrated in the Hall of Fame. But I agree with you. I think you're 100% right. He will be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. But I think the biggest guys who need I'd say the biggest athletes all time who need to be deconstructed as far as their status is definitely probably Kobe. You could argue Jordan. Like those are the two of the big dogs, at least from the basketball side. Okay, what else we got in the hotline here? I just see Crazy Eyes Sam Bradford story. I don't know. I don't remember. Let's just play it.
Hey, boys. Crazy Eyes Sam Bradford here. Driving to work and really got me thinking about Andy's butt fungus, otherwise known as swamp ass or mud butt. And my solution for that is just use some Gold Bond, man. Burns so good. And it leads me to my question. What is an uncomfortable experience you guys had? For example, when I went to Thailand, you could have some beers before your tattoo. So I had a stick and poke tattoo, and I had to hold my piss in without getting AIDS from a potential dirty needle. And I didn't want to go to the bathroom and get AIDS. So, yeah, what's the most uncomfortable experience you had like that? Condoms are for pussies.
Wait, what? Hold on.
I don't even understand. So he was getting a Thai tattoo, and his fear was he was going to get AIDS from going to the bathroom. I think he got AIDS from getting the Thai tattoo.
But why do you have to keep his urine in?
I don't know. He didn't want to go to the bathroom. He was afraid of the bathroom situation, apparently.
But not them to jab ink into his body.
I know. Unreal. This is classic Crazy Eyes Sam Bradford.
Classic dirtball.
This is why we don't call him normalized Sam Bradford, because he's crazy eyes. What was his first part of that?
Well, he was talking about me using Gold Bond. Yeah, again, dude, I never had a fungal infection, according to the dermatologist. That was all. I had some chafing, which I used Vaseline, but I didn't use correctly. I'm really hung up on this Thailand adventure. So he goes to Thailand. What's a stickum tattoo? What's that mean?
I don't know. I think it's like one of those ones where they like, it's not like a gun. It's not like a tattoo gun. It's like the stick thing where they're like dotting you with tattoos.
Now see, Crazy Eyes Sam Bradford, that would have been a time for you to call 1-800-FIX YOUR LIFE.
Yeah.
For advice. That was
I'd have been like, go take the piss and then also escape while you still can.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't off the top of my head think about my most uncomfortable situation. Certainly not in that context.
Like uncomfortable? I mean, that's I don't know. Like,
can I do a sidebar here for a tweet that was just sent to me? I just want your reaction. Supposedly in quotes, the Jets offered 3 first rounds, 3 firsts, and 1 to 2 seconds, and Zach Wilson for Watson. Browns offered 2 firsts, a fifth, Kareem Hunt, Greg Newsome, and Baker Mayfield. The Texans said no to both.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What do they want? What do they want for him?
Yeah.
Who tweeted this out?
Bryant McFadden, the official account of former Florida State Seminole and Pittsburgh Steeler, Bryant McFadden, Super Bowl XL3 champ and football analyst for CBS Sports.
I'm looking at it right now. 3 first rounds, 2 second rounds, and Zach Wilson, who we don't know. He played 1 year. I just don't know what they would want for him. Are any tie tattoos involved in this deal? If not, I'm out. That's a crazy list right there. Okay, this seems like, I don't know how we're going to get through this one, but let's see. This might be a tough one to get through, but I think it's a first-time call. I like to play first-time callers. If you want to be a first-time caller, 310-359-8365. I know it takes a lot of courage to call the hotline because, you know, you might just get roasted, and I understand that nobody wants to deal with that.
What's up, Dirty Sports? The name's G, like the letter, and I'm from Indiana.
G-Unit.
I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. My question to you is, if you were starting an NBA team right now, what other 4 guys would you choose to play alongside you, and who would be your 6th man, and why? The only catch is you can't choose any current professional athletes. So you could choose any actors, any comedians, you know, even your local Wendy's cashier. So it's totally up to you. Let me know what you guys choose. Thanks, boys. Condoms are for the NFL for banning Calvin Ridley for doing what we all love.
So this is a 1:33 a.m. call. I'm assuming he's drunk or high. You start a team basically with anybody but a professional.
Now, he said not current, but I'm going to assume we also mean not blossoming, upcoming. Like, I'm not going to pick the 4 guys that currently start on Duke's team. And I'm not going to select guys who have recently retired. We're just going to know non-professional athletes or non-basketball player or non-professional athletes.
We'd have to really think about this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I'll give Michael Rappaport a spot on my lineup just for the chemistry. You know, he's played in plenty of celeb games.
Definitely not Kevin Hart.
Definitely not Kevin Hart. No,
I've seen him play. I'm trying to think from like the celebrity games. Who's a guy who you say, oh, he can ball.
Yeah.
Chris Brown really thinks he can ball, but he's not as good as he thinks he is.
Yeah. I haven't watched enough celeb games lately to like know who's like the current young, like, dude. I mean, 2 Chainz can be on my team. I've seen 2 Chainz ball.
I think he played college ball.
Yeah, great, but he's a rapper.
Oh yeah, Master P maybe.
Yeah, Master P's old though now.
He is old,
but 2 Chainz, Titty Boy's not that young either.
Who wins in a one-on-one game, Kanye or Pete Davidson?
Oh man,
that's a tough one.
I feel like Pete Davidson.
You think Pete Davidson beats Kanye?
Yeah, but neither of them are athletes.
No.
Honestly, that would be a terrible game of basketball. That's how they should settle this.
That's what I'm saying.
Skeet, yay, 1v1.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who's somebody that's like really tall that I just have as the man in the middle. Like who's really tall but not a basketball player? Like there's got to be somebody out there who's just like ludicrously tall.
The giant from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. How about that guy who's always working out at Venice Beach? You know that 6'9" dude who's like the most jacked man in America?
The black dude.
Yeah, he's legit the biggest dude I've ever seen in my life.
He's shredded, man.
He's incredible. I have no idea if he has any basketball skills. I'm putting him at center.
Oh, yeah.
I'm putting who did I just have? I had Rappaport and Titty Boy rounding out the front court. Me in the backcourt with Tug Coker as my 2 guard.
Oh, Tug getting some love.
Let's go.
Here's my squad.
And who's my 6th man? I don't know. Who's my 6th man?
My squad is me, Kanye, Pete Davidson, Goldberg, and Kevin Hart.
And Shabelli is your 6th man.
Shabelli tweeting to me about the Russell Wilson stuff. Shabelli just hopping in.
What did Shabelli have to say about Russell Wilson?
He hasn't won, he hasn't won a playoff game. He lost to that backup. And I was like, yeah, he's won. Look, I know he's won 1 playoff game in the last 5 years. It's not easy to win playoff games. I'm not defending that. But, he's just trying to throw shrapnel. I wonder how Shabelli celebrated. Did Shabelli go to the Rams
parade?
Yeah.
Was he the guy? I don't know. We should tweet at Shabelli. Somebody asked Shabelli if he went to the Rams parade.
I'll just text him.
Okay.
Shaboring. Now we're going down the intern rabbit hole.
Yeah. I believe Nick Dale works for the Utah Jazz now.
He does.
So, I mean, dude, can we just talk about our interns and
I didn't want to
hockey correspondents and
I talked to him for like 45 minutes and I didn't want to say it. I talked to him like 10 days ago.
Oh, you didn't want to say it on the show because Third Pulse would ruin his life?
Well, yeah, and he was still going through all the HR stuff, but the fact that so congrats to Nick. Nick now works for the Utah Jazz, and he also works for the AAA team. That owner owns the AAA team, so he's going to work year round for them, and he says he's going to learn everything. They want these guys to learn everything from.
So great, congrats and fucking Nick D'Alessandro from Ruther's couch to the Utah Jazz.
Not gonna lie, I said to Nick,
from Ruther's couch to the NBA.
I said, look, man, I'm really happy for you, but man, 2020 was a shit year in so many ways. It's like, if things could have broken differently because he's just so talented. And Nick and I mean, we worked well together and we were 2 peas in a, I saw somebody comment.
That was your son. That was your son.
I just, we
was getting up in the middle of the night, eating cheese, getting back in bed with you. He was basically your Vince.
We didn't sleep in the same bed.
Sure you did. Sure.
I just miss Nick and he was my son. I missed you've never seen Back to the Future? Let's watch all 3 in the next 9 hours. Oh, you want to go I love
what you're saying is give me back my son.
I do miss those times. I was telling Nick that I go, we'd have our own little thing. And then I was like, I mean, even just the going to Costco videos, they were so stupid, but they were so much fun. Nick could just film me. Then we go to McDonald's. No, I'm sorry. We go to Don's.
You go to Don's.
How'd you learn he's working for the Jazz? Did he tweet something?
No, I don't. I think maybe posted on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah, good for him. Give me a reason to go out there.
Yeah.
Especially if he's working for the team. All right, those are our calls. 310-359-8365. Lots of love for the old interns today.
There was another one that you had on the rundown I was just like, this is an interesting. It was something about Prano basketball uses my own quote against me. I don't even know.
No, that was the one. The basketball.
Oh, that was the one. Okay, great.
Yeah. The other ones are kind of outdated. I'm looking at.
All good.
One was for something with baseball, but the strike's not happening, and one was for Kirk Cousins.
Speaking of Nick D'Alessandro, one thing that Nick has still managed to do, although as he gets busier and busier, maybe less, Nick does all my social media videos, and I've been posting more and more stand-up clips on my Instagram and my TikTok, which are both at Joe Prano. I'm, of course, still 1-800 at Fix Your Life on Twitter. but Joe Prano on all other social media. Got some shows in and around Southern California before for the rest of March. And then I will be in Colorado for a couple weekends and the week in between in April. Schmiggities in Steamboat Springs for a couple shows. Bridge Street Bar for a couple Vail comedy shows. And then the Denver Improv with Eddie Ift. Those are all on my website at joeprano.com. And then after that, I will be headed to New York for some time in late April. So if you're on the East Coast, hopefully I'll get some of those dates booked soon, and you can see me at some of my favorite spots in the tri-state area.
All right. You can follow us at The Dirty Sports on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm at Andy Ruther on social media. Maybe I'll end my Instagram hiatus sometime. I think I'm almost at a year. Just flowing through. By the way, if you ever want to send me anything, just DM me personally. A lot of times I think DirtBalls will send it to Dirty Sports or the Dirty. Like I don't check that stuff as much. So just quick heads up on that. All right, we got through a lot of news. NFL stuff's developing. We'll do something with March Madness on Wednesday night or Thursday morning. We'll figure it out. I'll hit up. Yeah.
First, I want to know I feel like Maddie's a pretty big college basketball guy, right?
I think he knows most sports. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll have his sleepers. I think he'll have his, look, I've done multiple trips to Vegas with Maddie
for March Madness,
which were always insane and hilarious. Maddie'd be throwing money up in the bed. It'd be like $120.
He's throwing money in the bed, and he's like, "Ow! I got hit by that coin." Stop throwing coins, Maddie.
You go. Really, we're gonna go to Steak and Shake again. I love it.
Steak and Shake on me, baby. Just made $17 on the University of Gulf Coast game, baby. Yeah. Brady's back. March Madness, baby.
I'll hit him up. All right, guys, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys in a few days. And as always, stay dirty.